Well, shit. This episode was a much bigger roller coaster ride, a much bigger emotional roller coaster ride than I anticipated. Like, oh my gosh. As always, if you have not seen the latest episode, you might want to get up off this video because there's going to be a flash flood of spoilers when these fingers disappear, so you better be gone. Now, before I jump into all the crazy sad, the crazy horrificness, it's random how this episode started with Kat being on the talk, being a guest star on the talk. When I saw a picture down on social media, I saw it online. But when I saw it online, I thought it was Callista Flockhart who was promoting Supergirl. I thought it was her coming on the show as as herself, just saying, "Oh yeah, this episode's gonna be like this. Let's see a clip from Supergirl." That's what I thought it was, but it turns out, okay, no, it's the character that's on the talk. I'm like, okay, that's really random. I mean, like, it's not something that I'm not a big fan of those kind of crossovers. Like when these when these superhero stories cross over to reality like that. Very few, very few of those stories can get away with that. But this, not so much. I'm about to refresh your memory. I'm about to do a little throwback here, like back to Lois and Clark when Kryptonians were taking over the Earth, and their leader, Lord Nor, as they called him in that show, he was being interviewed by Lisa Gibbons. I'm like, what the fuck? What? I mean that is more random than Cat Grant being on the talk, in my opinion. This violent dictator wants to take over your planet, and you're interviewing him like he's Kanye West or Kim Kardashian and shit. Like, what the fuck? But okay, back to Supergirl. As the episode went on, I'm thinking to myself, like, why didn't Martian Manhunter or Jimmy put two and two together? Like, it must be red kryptonite. But that's what I thought it would be, because you would think that, okay, the Superman has gone through this phase before, he's been exposed to this too, so so it must be that. But apparently not. Apparently this is the Red K being introduced for the very, very, very first time in this version, in this universe of Supergirl. And she's the first guinea pig to sort of to walk into that trap, and before her cousin never did. Apparently that's different. I'm cool with that, but that's what I thought it would be. And she is much more of a loose cannon than Superman ever was when he was on red kryptonite. Almost. Well, you know what? No, she is, because he was just a douchebag when he was on red kryptonite, and she was a bit of a, for lack of a better word, she was a bitch, and she was reckless, and she was pretty violent. And she didn't care, throwing, when she confronted Kat and she threw her off a building. I'm like, what? I knew she was gonna catch her, but what the fuck, Supergirl? I know it's not your fault. Wow. I know it's the Red K, so I need to. It's the Red K. Quit judging her. But it is insane, and how she said some very hurtful things to everyone she cared about, Jimmy, Alex, and oh my gosh, it is ridiculous. It was funny a little bit at first when she would come into work, and then she would just be dressed all like Miss Stank, and not like a nerd like she usually does, and then that's pretty funny. She got what's her name fired? Who's Silver Banshee? Yeah, she got her fired apparently, and oh man, and I like how they kind of shoehorned that moment in Superman 3 where he had a bowl of peanuts and he just spilled it all over on the table and he started flicking them at the liquor bottles like and they did that, and Supergirl did that too. I'm like, nice scene from Superman 3 to pick out. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. And and to our surprise, like, guess who created the red kryptonite? Guess who did it? Maxwell Lord. No. What a twist. Oh my gosh. And then he tries to convince the DEO and Alex and everybody, like, I had no idea, Supergirl would go off. I mean, I never intended, for her to get hurt. I'm like, bullshit. Like, but even though he didn't have to, give them the antidote to the red kryptonite, I mean, like, he's working at an angle with all this. He did this shit on purpose. He tried to make her look bad. He wanted the people to hate Supergirl, and that's what he got. So, I mean, come on. Fuck you, Maxwell Lord. Fuck you to hell. Oh my gosh. And when Supergirl comes out of it, Martian Manhunter risks exposing himself to the world to stop her, and then what he gets in return is when they handcuff him and when they take him into custody. I'm like, what? Like, oh my gosh, I feel bad for him. I mean, but he did that for Supergirl because that's family. He did that out of love. And also when she was going up against a villain in this episode, and she just let him go, like, happy no fucks given, like, you ain't worth my time. What she was gonna do instead, I thought she was gonna try to kill him, like, where she went out of control on him, like, okay, you apprehended him, you got him, you defeated him, and she starts beating on him or stomping on him or whatever, and like to the point where she's about to kill him. I mean, that's what I thought she would have done, not let him go, but oh well. And oh my gosh, this episode was definitely intense, and I think in the next week's episode it'll be the aftermath of her actions, like where the people will not accept her right away, where it'll be a baby steps to that, and I like that because there's some shows where they do that, where they just jump right to it, and then it's like, oh, hunky dory, yep, okay, we forgot all about it. And then certain characters don't forget about it, but not this time, apparently. So that's a good thing. So with that all being said, this episode gets 4 chair spins out of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how I rate shows and movies and stuff now. So there you go. That was worth 4 spins of dizziness, of tipsiness. And man, I wanted to give Supergirl a big hug from from her having to now she's basically living her cousin's deepest fear, of how people would look at him and how they would be afraid of him and reject him out of fear and all that stuff. I mean, now she's living that. Now she is that image that Superman has kind of looked at himself as and feared himself. And wow, I mean, like, this episode, really shows you, like, whatever shit you feel like saying that you shouldn't say to the people you care about, keep that shit inside, because that can be a messy, the results can be messy, and it will look at you like they never knew you, like you're a totally different person. And that's what happened in this episode. Like, everyone looked at her differently, and the only ones that didn't really was Alex and the Martian Manhunter. But I thought it was funny how when Maximo Ward comes walking in the DEO, and guess who owns the building? He comes walking in like, hey guys, how you doing? And then they throw him back in the cell. Even though it was just for a moment, I thought it was really funny when they did that. Oh my gosh. But Yeah, I mean, Supergirl, you know, I'm glad she's not running away from her responsibilities. I almost expected her to take off, you know, the suit and just leave it in the dumpster or somewhere and just quit being Supergirl, because if cannot bear living with that guilt, and it would be easier to to live on the rest of her lives as her secret identity and not have to deal with that. But I'm glad that she's not doing that. She's stepping up and she's willing to work hard to earn our trust back. So that's awesome. So share your thoughts on this episode. I mean, what did you think of it? Did it almost make you cry like I did, and like I almost did? It was ripping. It was like it had like a saw on my heartstrings. I'm like, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Damn it. So shit. I enjoyed the hell out of it though. So if you enjoyed my review of this episode, thumb up the video. Make sure you click subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, y'all.